Welcome to WIH TV. Let's have informative and interesting events happened in the month of February 1947. February 1, 1947, 2 Douglas District of Columbia 3 planes crashed, one near Lisbon, Portugal, and the other in northern Iceland, due to poor weather conditions. The accidents claimed the lives of 15 and 25 people respectively. February 2, 1947, Nicaragua held general elections, marred by voting irregularities. Leonardo Arguello Barreto was elected as the president. February 3, 1947, the U.S. Supreme Court ordered a new trial for Rene de Meerleer, who had been sentenced to life in prison without a lawyer at the age of 17 in 1932. The coldest temperature ever recorded in continental North America, 63.0 degrees Celsius, 81.4 degrees Fahrenheit, was registered in Snag, Yukon. February 4, 1947, Franz von Papen was arrested during his denazification trial in Nuremberg, charged with falsifying Paul von Hindenburg's will. German-born communist Gerhard Eisler was arrested in New York for detention as an enemy alien. February 5, 1947, Bolesław Bierut became the President of Poland. February 6, 1947, Japanese General Hisao Tani was found guilty of facilitating the Nanking Massacre at the Nanjing War Crimes Tribunal. Gerhard Eisler faced charges of conspiracy to overthrow the U.S. government before the House Un-American Activities Committee. Józef Cyrankiewicz became the Prime Minister of Poland. February 8, 1947, a devastating fire broke out at the Karlslust dance hall in Berlin's Hackenfeld locality, claiming the lives of at least 80 people. February 9, 1947, British destroyer HMS Chieftain captured the dilapidated wooden brigantine Lanegev off the coast of Palestine, carrying 647 Jewish refugees. A battle ensued, resulting in 1 refugee's death, and the rest were taken to Cyprus on the transport Empire Haywood. February 10, 1947, the Paris peace treaties were signed, officially ending World War II between the Allies and Germany's Axis partners, resolving issues such as war reparations and territorial adjustments. Drastic measures were implemented in Britain to conserve coal supplies, including household electricity shutdown for 5 hours daily and complete suspension of electricity to industries and commercial lighting. BBC Radio signed off at 11 p.m., and BBC Television ceased broadcasting. The United States Supreme Court ruled on Everson v. Board of Education, applying the Establishment Clause to state law. February 11, 1947, Chinese President Chiang Kai-shek ordered economic measures to combat inflation and black market activities caused by the ongoing civil war, as the Chinese yuan suffered a drastic collapse in value. February 12, 1947, the Panglong Agreement was reached between the Burmese government and the Shan, Kachin, and Chin peoples. Britain recognized the Communist Government of Bulgaria. February 13, 1947, all 32 daily newspapers of Paris suspended publication as a strike by mechanical trade unions and administrative employees escalated. February 14, 1947, Paris experienced a 4-hour token strike as police, public utility workers, and other government employees protested the French government's refusal to grant a general wage increase. February 15, 1947, the tragic 1947 Avianca Douglas District of Columbia 4 crash occurred when the plane crashed into Mount El Tablazo near Bogotá, Colombia, claiming the lives of all 53 people on board. February 16, 1947, Chinese President Chiang Kai-shek implemented measures to address China's economic crisis, including ordering the return of Chinese fortunes abroad, prohibiting dealings in gold and foreign currency, and banning strikes and lockouts. February 17, 1947, Voice of America began making radio broadcasts to the Soviet Union. King George VI, Queen Elizabeth, and the 2 princesses arrived in South Africa, marking the first time a reigning sovereign of England had ever visited the country. February 18, 1947, a train derailment near Altoona, Pennsylvania, in the Allegheny Mountains, resulted in 27 fatalities and 105 injuries. French Prime Minister Paul Ramadier announced plans to punish policemen who participated in a recent strike and called for legislation to prevent such police strikes in the future. February 20, 1947, British Prime Minister Clement Attlee announced that the government would hand over power to one or more independent Indian governments by June 1948. Lord Louis Mountbatten became Viceroy of India. An explosion at an electroplating plant in Los Angeles caused 15 deaths and 158 injuries, attributed to a mixture of perchloric acid and acetic anhydride. February 21, 1947, Italy and Argentina signed an agreement permitting thousands of Italian workers to emigrate to Argentina. February 22, 1947, several hundred Germans were arrested in the British and American occupation zones on suspicion of establishing an underground Nazi organization. February 23, 1947, the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, was founded. The World Ice Hockey Championships concluded in Czechoslovakia, with the host country winning the tournament. February 24, 1947, former German Chancellor and diplomat Franz von Papen was sentenced to 8 years in a labor camp by the denazification court in Nuremberg. The British government lifted the ban on electric power to industrial plants in the Midlands, sending nearly 1 million men back to work. British companies were authorized to directly deal with German businessmen for the purchase of German goods, and American companies would have the same authorization starting on March 4. February 25, 1947, Allied Control Council Enactment No. 46 formally dissolved the historic state of Prussia after more than 4 centuries of existence. February 26, 1947, a parade of 50,000 former Belgian POWs in Brussels demanding payment of bonuses turned into a riot against the police, injuring as many as 100 people. February 27, 1947, the February 28 incident began in Taiwan after Chinese law enforcement killed a bystander during an argument, leading to an uprising over economic problems and corruption. February 28, 1947, the nationalist Chinese government violently suppressed the uprising in Taiwan, resulting in an estimated 10,000 deaths. An American P-82 fighter plane flew nonstop from Hawaii to New York City, establishing a new nonstop record for fighter craft. Thank you for watching WIH TV.